It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And I'm going to start at verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyum, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Quadash, Baruch. I want to say double honor to my apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing His truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so. This is Brother Yahweh Sabah of the GMS Cleveland Church, and I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shema Shai. So, basically looking for a lesson, trying to stay on what the elder is pushing. Love the elder. I love the elders, my apostles, because they're great examples of how you should move in this ministry, So, and they push you, But saying all that to say this, trying to get my video in, and we know we get our videos in when we can. Satan heavier on certain days than he is on other days. Everything is through the Spirit, but the whole thing is you got to continuously fight. I notice it's a spirit going through Israel or Yasharallah right now. And the closer we get to the end, the harder everything gonna get. But said all that to say this, I was looking for a topic because I'm noticing I like to do my videos on what's going on in the world, trying to be a true watchman. But like the elder suggested, sometimes you just go through the Spirit. If it's a lesson or breaking down a chapter or anything, a lesson is not an excuse not to do a video. So this is a hellified video because through the Spirit, a lot of brothers been speaking on a second shutdown, which you can clearly see because that's what's gonna put people in the Spirit to depend. The scriptures talk about woe to them that go to Egypt for help. Well, what they about to do is about to put people in a desperation mode, in a spirit of desperation. And what you gonna trust in, man or the Most High, or the Most High man, Salakia? Because I should have worded it that way. The creature man is, a creation of the Most High, Yahweh Shai, who you people ignorantly call God of Jesus Christ. Scriptures talk about in the book of Jeremiah, curses the man that trusteth in man. Y'all gonna run to Egypt for help, which is bondage, and get put in servitude. So, we see the second, P coming up because, you had people like Bill Gates, Gates of Hell, make mention of a second one. You had Joe Beasy make mention of a second one. Oh, that's some satanic shit. Okay, Salakia. Anyhow, that was deep. So, yeah, I'm not even gonna go into it. That was so deep. What just happened? Anyhow, so it says state of emergency. This is out of San Francisco to Hill. State of emergency declared in San Francisco amid monkeypox spread. It reads, San Francisco officials have declared a public health emergency as cases of MP rise in the city. Office of Mayor London Breed said in a release that the declaration, which will go into effect on Monday, will strengthen the city's preparedness and responses, along with expediting and streaming available resources to address the virus. The release stated that the San Francisco Department of Public Health had confirmed more than 260 cases of MP, making up almost a third of nearly 800 cases in California. So they saying that California is the hotbed for this thing because basically it's attacking a certain population of people, the people that's mentioned in the Bible that should not even really exist on this plane because they are abominable in the face of our power, Yahweh Shai Shai. But because this place promotes wickedness, that's why they're allowed to dwell, and that's why this place is being judged the way it's being judged. San Francisco showed during CV that early action is essential for protecting public health, Breed said. We know that this virus impacts everyone equally, but we also know that those in the LGBTQ community are at risk right now. Many people in the alphabet community are scared and frustrated. This local emergency will allow us to continue to support our most at risk while also better preparing for what's to come. So far, the virus has spread the most among men who have sex with men, but it can affect anyone who has extended skin to skin contact with affected individuals. And I was listening to the brother. He's not a brother. That's an Edomite. Well, he is our brother when you go spiritually, but wicked ass brother. But that guy got the channel on Full Spectrum Survival. He bring out good information, but that's an Edomite. You know, he preparing carnally on all of it. And scriptures tell you that Esau, Edom, doesn't really believe in the Most High. Book of Psalms, chapter 36. So that's enough of this article. All that saying all that to say this, you know, it's declared as an emergency, and you know, scriptures talk about the Lord gonna send plagues. So let me get some of this. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 5. That's the spirit. Ezekiel, chapter 5. Jumping right in, like this. I done hung up on something that was important. That's the spirit, though. The Lord wanted me to go ahead and do this. All right, call lawyer, shot. It says, Ezekiel 5 and verse 17. So I will send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord Yahweh, have spoken. So, the Salakia, it says, I, the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, have spoken it. So the Lord has proclaimed this, and it tells you in the scriptures that the Lord is a man that he cannot lie. So if the Lord proclaimed it, this thing's gonna happen. And that's why you got prophecies that's taking fold and taking place right now. These people is not aware of it. These people really just living their best life. When how you been locked down, people fucked up more than ever, but yet still you live your best life. A nigga would be happy to get some hair though. When you think about the pandemic, remember the pandemic? I remember the pandemic when they said motherfuckers was going through all that stuff, but people that sold hair still made money. Make you want to sell some hair though, but you can't exploit the children of Israel. You know what I mean? Our people are in a sad state for real, because they gonna be the last ones to recognize, oh shit, this is real, right? This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. A prayer of Habakkuk the prophet upon Shigionoth. O Yahweh, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Yahweh, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known, and wrath, remember mercy. I was always looking for that scripture. That's the spirit. And wrath, remember mercy. And that's why we do this work, because at the end of the day, the Lord coming to judge this place, and at the end of the day, you can't turn back his judgment, but we doing the work because we hoping to be spared out of this judgment. You know, that's why Noah was spared, him and his family. That's proving that, you know, if you doing the will of the Lord will spare you and your loved ones. Verse 3, Yahweh came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran, Selah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. And his brightness was as the light, because he is the light. He the truth. It reads, he had horns, which meaning power, coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. Verse 5, before him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. So let's go into the word pestilence, while everybody think this is a motherfucking game. I guess I offended somebody. A nigga woman at that though, she gonna pull all the way back. He ain't had to do that, but she didn't like what I was saying. A fatal epidemic disease, especially bubonic plague. And they saying that basically they comparing this MP to the bubonic to a degree. But you gotta understand, when you go into history, the bubonic affected Jake, 2/3 of Jake. And it's gonna affect him again today. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, that's affected a lot of, that's why you see it, you know, they try to make Jake the face of the pandemic, but look at who the face of the pandemic now, this MP. You see Esau, Edom, and the population, majority of they men are like weird. You know, let's don't say it like that. You know, Edomites have been always weird. Like Edomites will do some gay shit and they think that's fun. Like they'll punch you in your nuts and think that's fun, or, you know, it's just weird shit. Like it's not crazy to see that they like steer that way, because, you know, they heathens, the ultimate. So that's what a pestilence is an epidemic, which we've been through, especially bubonic. Neither prayers nor demonstration halted the advance of the pestilence, because the pestilence is coming from Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. That's spiritual that I read that. because the pestilence is coming from the Most High. So he's not going to hold it back. It's a judgment. And the scriptures talk about that. When you go in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15, I believe chapter 16, Jeremiah, it's multiple scriptures that go into pestilence is used as, shit, what is that? Matter of fact, let me go try and find that. But for all their, talks about it's the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and the powers stand Salakia. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So the Lord sent pestilences as well as amendment to change your way. But the scriptures also say for verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. You know, the Lord is doing work on the planet. The scriptures in the book of Salakia, Psalms 119, 126, it's time for the Lord to work because they have made void thy law. The Lord is showing and bringing these pestilences as an amendment to have the people change their ways. But it tells you in the book of Revelations that regardless of what all these plagues, these people still going to be doing their wickedness, especially Edomite. And 2/3 of our people joined on to it. A lot of people don't want to bring out the fact that our people was caught up in that whole Epstein thing. You know, from your Oprah, your beloved Oprah, to, you know, funny part is your faggot ass Will Smith. He was bold enough to slap a nigga in the mouth, but that nigga's a fag. Why do you think he didn't give a fuck about his woman being fucked by another man while they still in the same house? Because she got some dirt on this nigga. Like, flat out. So he's just in a miserable ass marriage. And that's what a lot of our people, the 2/3 that's joined onto this place, they in a miserable ass marriage joined on to Esau because they see that this shit's some bullshit. But they, you know, that's why they made the statement that you will own nothing but be happy. You know, it's scriptures talk about how people will lose their life trying to save it, and people gonna find their life by losing it, roughly paraphrased. I read that. So at the end of the day, we know 2/3 of our people can't be saved, and that's why the book of Jeremiah reads this. It reads Jeremiah chapter 15 verse 1, and it reads, then said the Lord Yahweh unto me, though Moses and Samuel still before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. So that's showing you that the Lord got a judgment that we can, it's up to, the Lord can do whatever he wants. And if he set it up where you got a certain amount of people that's going to be saved and a certain amount of people that's going to be destroyed, then that's what it is. You know, because at the end of the day, the Lord created everything. So if he chose to give extra this or a special ingredient on that, that's him. You know, that's just like people tell me that it's foolish to have a favorite child. And I said, how is that when in the very Bible it reads that they had favorite children? That's why you had two parents. The father loved one child more than the other, and the mother loved one child more than the other. You know, that's in the scriptures. Between Jacob and Esau, the very story we're living right now, if you a so-called Edomite, well, not so-called, if you're a so-called white man, your biblical nationality is an Edomite. Just like if you're a so-called black man, your biblical nationality is a Hebrew Israelite. You know, you are of Yasharallah, he, Prince, power. Yah meaning he, Shah meaning prince, and Allah meaning power. We are the sons of the Most High. Verse 2, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, such as are for death to death, and such are for the sword to the sword, and such are for the famine to the famine, and such are for the captivity to the captivity. And this is all judgment. Verse 3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord Yahweh, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and to destroy. The Lord coming with swift judgment, but right now it's going slow, you know, because, you know, we hearkening on to the kingdom, but, you know, it talks about the Lord is long suffering. But wait till the Lord really start moving. He's moving, but wait till he really just, because it talks about in the scriptures, the Lord going to shorten the days for the elect's sake. You know, this devil got some things planned that's so diabolical. God damn, you know what I mean? This is the book of Psalms chapter 91, but it talks about those that's in the faith, the men of the hopeful elect will be covered. It talks about in the book of Proverbs chapter 18 that the name of the Lord is a strong tower. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 19, Salaki. This is the book of Psalms, Salaki. Book of Psalms chapter 91, verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And the secret place of the Most High is this truth. Being in this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, and him will I trust. Again, I bring out Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, but when you go to verse 7, it said, blessed be the man that trusteth in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So it says, my power and him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, which is the modern day fowler is Esau Edom. You know, he sets up traps and snares to catch our people and then accuse them, but he the one setting them up. And from the noise and pestilence, he shall cover thee with the feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and thy buckler. You know, when you go into them feathers, that's going into the chariots. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. And this is the point that I wanted. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness. That CV is a pestilence, and that's MP is a pestilence. Nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. Verse 7. At 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. And that's what you got to believe in these times. I've been listening to the elder Yashawamba. He been in the spirit. You know, you got to believe these things because it's going to take big faith, a level of faith that most people don't possess, but the elect will. The elect going to be like, I don't even need no gun. I'm going to leave the house. I ain't trying to grab nothing. We just leaving, because the scriptures talk about be ready to leave. You know, I was watching what was that, Walking Dead. I was rewatching it. I never watched the whole series, but I did like the beginning series, and basically they were saying how literally you know, he came home out of the hospital and he was seeing that he was like they had time to pack. Well, the scriptures talk about you better be already prepared. That's why the Passover you eat with your cane and everything ready to come, because the Lord was sending judgment, and he's doing it again. So if you're a so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the power of your power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, or you will be judged and destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam, La Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai B'Shem Racha. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, who teach and do real well. Peace and salutations to the Akim, across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, for whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. Until next time I'm able to come with another lesson, I'm going to say shalom, and muwaf lababal, shalom.